So today, this video is going to be about a bag that I have wanted to review for a long time and that I had used for quite a while, but I don't know, just things got in the way. So here we are. This is the Evergoods CPL28. It's the version 2 of the CPL in very bright signal blue. So let's get into it. If you're not aware, there's an Evergoods collab bag coming out this month on the Carryology website. It's called the Phoenix, codenamed apparently, and we don't really know what that means, but it's probably going to be some version of the CPL, although that's just guesswork. It could be almost anything. Because of that, I figured it was a good time to actually go ahead and film this review. The CPL is a great bag. It's literally one of those bags that like every bag nerd knows about, every bag nerd probably has had, wanted to have, lusted over, watched videos about, all those kind of things. There's literally one thing about this bag that makes me not like it, and it isn't the color. I actually kind of like the color. The bag itself is made of this 500D high tenacity nylon. I think it's a nylon 6.6, which is the toughest form of nylon. It has I think like they explain on their website, there's like strings going this way and that way, or this way and that way, and something makes it strong. It's a very nice feeling material. I will say it is basically a Swiffer. It picks up every single bit of dust or hair that you encounter. If you even sniff a cat, it turns into a cat. I sometimes pet this bag thinking it is my cat. The fact that it's in blue means you can't see it very well. You can't see the dust or the cat hair, but I can see like a bunch of it like right here as I'm looking at the bag. Their mountain line, like the MPL, which is one of my favorite bags, doesn't have this problem because it's a bit of a shinier material, and that shinier material doesn't pick up hair nearly as bad. I have that bag in black and it doesn't pick up anything. So if you are the type of person that is worried about having cat hair or dust or something on your bag, then these are probably not the ones for you, or at least pick a lighter color so you can't see it as well, or carry a Swiffer in one of the many pockets you have inside this bag. There was a version 1 of this bag. The version 1 of this bag I actually own, but and I used for a very long time, but I'm not going to talk about it, or sorry, I'm not going to show it in this video because it's over there, and well, it's over there. I will explain as I go what differences there are between this and the other one. The size is the first big difference. This is 28 liters. The original was 24. There's of course a 24 liter version of this bag. I opted for the 28 because I still like my 24, the version 1, and thought that it would be better for my arsenal of bags to have a 28 with the 24. If you look on the outside of the bag, one of the main features of this bag is this giant side handle right here. It is quite large. You can see it sort of hangs off the side of the bag. It's reinforced on the inside of the bag here with some metal. I think it's like an aluminum rod, which when you carry it, it stops it from kind of like folding under its own weight, which is a cool feature. I tend to actually carry it a lot from this handle, and I'll explain as we go why. There's a loop here where you could stick like a carabiner sort of thing, and then there is the top handle, which is the exact same material as this. It's a little sharp, honestly, but it's not bad. You know, it's better than the average top handle, I would say. There's another loop over here if you want to attach anything to that. I will say, in use, the straps, the harness system is quite comfortable on most Evergoods bags. This is no different. It has this sort of like yoke system that, can you see that? It sort of like hugs your back. Sometimes this can get a little rubby around your neck. The straps themselves are very comfortable. The foam feels good. You can see the bigger version of this bag, the straps feel a little small. I think if I were a taller person, this would like be like right under my armpits, which would probably be annoying. As for me, I'm a shorter person and it's like just about perfect. So I would assume that if I was a taller person, that would be maybe annoying. Hard to tell. Everything else here feels like top-notch materials. The bag itself is made in Vietnam. We'll talk about that in a little bit too. There is a sternum strap here, which is a big upgrade from the original. The original like just had this like kind of hook here, and it would like, you could, if you just like went like this, it would fall out eventually. Whereas this one is clipped in with a Mystery Ranch style. I think it's Mystery Ranch that uses these, but you can kind of 1, 2, 3, 4. There are like 4 places you could clip it on to go up and down if you want. There's a hydration port thingy here if you're the type of person that uses hydration. I am not, so that is of no interest to me whatsoever. Let's go around the pockets. We'll talk a little bit about it. Now you'll notice that this side of the bag, which is the left side of the bag as you look at it, all of the pockets are on this side, and that is the big issue for me. The problem I have with that is that if I want to sling the bag over my shoulder and get at anything, I have to sling it over my left shoulder. And that literally feels like trying to drive a car blindfolded with no shoes on. Like, I really find it super difficult. My brain cannot be trained to do that. It's so hard. And I've tried to use it, I've tried to enjoy it. The original version was the exact same problem. I tried to love it. What ends up happening is I carry it by this grab handle like a briefcase almost all the time, because then I can just grab the stuff out of it as I go. It's quite a big annoyance in use. I really hope that Carryology one, I don't know, reinvents that somehow. It's called the Phoenix, so, you know, back from the ashes or whatever. But, you know, we'll see. This is the laptop compartment. It uses YKK zippers all around. There's a big number 10 on the main compartment, which is here, and then these other periphery ones are all number 8s. They are smooth enough. I find people say that the Evergoods zippers are very smooth. I don't find them very smooth. I would say what I would consider smooth enough. The laptop compartment is the first place you see an upgrade over the original. The original was literally just this slot here, whereas this one, there is a one of these guys to hold the laptop in place, and the laptop is now completely suspended on all sides. So there's a sleeve here. I don't know if you can actually see that, but there's a sleeve here, and the sleeve supports the laptop on all sides, so it is perfectly safe in there. In the old version, it would just like clunk against the ground, and you'd have to put it in like another sleeve inside here. One smart piece of engineering, I guess they did, or design as it were, is there is a piece of Velcro here so that if you don't want to use this thing, it just tucks away nicely, and those things drive me crazy when they're just flapping around. So that's a good piece of design there, Evergoods. There's another pocket up here on the top. This is what you'd call your quick access pocket. So the original also didn't have this. For my money, this is the biggest upgrade on them. This pocket makes a huge difference. It has a carabiner thing in here where you can clip your keys or whatever. It's red, which is something to note. The pocket kind of sits inside this yoke thing, and it's nice enough. And what's good about this one on this bag compared to, say, like the Evergoods CHC, in the CHC, this pocket, which is very similar, sits on the inside of the main compartment, so it makes it hard to get your laptop out. In this case, it's in the laptop compartment, but it's like hanging down in a part of the laptop compartment that is completely unused, so it is good for that. I mean, if I was in use, I'd probably use this bag for something like my wallet and AirPods, and you could put a lot more in there if you really wanted to, but that's probably what they would be used for. I'm going to pack this bag out for how I would travel with it as we talk, because for me this is a killer minimal travel bag. On the side here, I'm going to go around this way so the lighting's a bit better. On the side there is the Evergoods side pocket. Again, this is the one that bothers me when I sling it, because I can't, it's like I have to sling it off my left shoulder to get into this pocket. On the original CPL, there was no organization in here whatsoever. Now on this version, there is a pen loop that is going to be very hard to see, but it's over here. It's like a pen loop. It's quite big. Could be like for a knife or something. There's like what would be like a phone. And there is a one zippered pocket here, which would be good for something like a passport or like dongles or something on the go. It's a mesh pocket, and it goes all the way to here and all the way to here and all the way to here, so it's quite big. It's around passport size is what I would say, maybe slightly bigger. And there's also, of course, the main volume here. Evergoods is very good at making like volume into their pockets. So like this pocket itself has its own volume, which is nice because when you're using it, even if you stuff this part of the bag out, you can still use that front pocket. Those are basically the main features of this front part. There is, of course, this patch here where you could stick your, patches if you want to. I don't know if I have one here, and you could rock like that. Now, it's it's something to note that this is square, 1 by 1, I guess, or whatever it is. And this is like the average patch is not like that. So, something to note. Getting into the bag. So it is a clamshell opening bag, which means it opens fully like so. The zippers go all the way down to the bottom. There are these counter pulls here, which some people I've seen say that they're for like latching things onto. They're not. They're for like you can hook your finger and pull. Gives you a little bit of counter force when you're zipping the bag up. Now the bag opens clamshell, as I mentioned. Looks a little bit like this when it's opened. We're going to get into these guys in a second. More signal blue. The bag's interior is this gray color, which is actually quite nice in use. I find that the gray contrasts well with the blue. It also makes it so that you can see things quite easily. Something like a GORUCK is often black on the inside. But, you know, I heard that this is a 50-50 blend of black and white. So if your things are white, they'll show up. If the things are black, they'll show up. You know, it's a smart piece of design. Similar to the GORUCK bags, there's an opaque pocket here, and then there's a mesh pocket here. Mesh feels very nice on these bags. It feels a bit plasticky, if that makes sense. There's also this flat pocket back here, which you could stick your laptop in if you really wanted to. It would work something like this in use. This pocket is also raised up off the bottom of the bag, so you would be safe in use with that. It's not something I tend to use a whole lot, but it is there if you need it. There are also these molly rings here where you could like attach like a carabiner or something onto. They're kind of going like the wrong way to work for most pouches. A lot of pouches would be, you know, like the other way if they're molly style or PALS webbing style. So it's not really PALS webbing, it's just webbing in general that you can use for like hanging a carabiner or something from. And yeah, that's really it. Evergoods always includes this sort of like patch thing here. Now, I have a kind of a problem with this where it says designed and developed in Bozeman, Montana. It has all of this information about what the bag is, like Civic Panel Loader 2020, but it does not mention the fact that it's made in Vietnam, which is hidden in the laptop compartment over here, down here. So it says sewn in Vietnam, which is completely fine. I completely get why they do that. It's just that for me, I don't know, it's like if you're going out of the way to have all the information here, then you might as well just say, you know, made in Vietnam here too. I think that would be a little bit more straightforward. A good example of this is Alpha 19er, who their bags like say Vietnam pretty proudly in the bag, and also on their Instagram they talk about how they do things with their team in Vietnam and how they work closely with them and blah 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 blah. I think that's a better way to go about this sort of thing. But again, I mean, lots of companies are doing this, so it's not just a, you know, knock on Evergoods. Makes sense for people that are expecting them to be, you know, very American, I guess. But all in all, I don't think that's a big problem. It is what it is. You know, you just kind of go with the flow. The bags are built beautifully, so it's not an issue or anything. It's just something to note. Okay, so that's basically it for the bag. I've got a couple of other signal blue things here I want to talk about, and then I'll pack this sucker out for travel, and then we'll get out of here. So this is the Evergoods CAP, which is one of the better pouches. I don't know if I can get this to focus. This is one of the better pouches on the market. This works for me as a camera cube. So what I do is my camera, which is a Leica, sits in there. You need a shortish lens for this to work. And then this guy kind of folds out of the way, and you can stick like another lens in there. And then in this top pocket here, I use it for like my camera charger, spare batteries, and stuff like so. I find this to be, for a Leica user, like I am, this is one of the better camera cube options on the market, just because it is so small and it carries my battery charger. Finding a small camera cube is not the problem, it's finding one that carries your battery charger. I think it looks very cool in this signal blue. Thank you, Andrew, for hooking me up with that one. They weren't very easy to come by. This, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this, but this is the, I believe it's called the Mountain Hip Pack 3.5. While I think this is a very nice and cool sling, it's not something I tend to use a whole lot. I'm not much of a slinger. It's made out of the same material as their mountain line, so I believe it's like some sort of like 420D. Yeah, so it's a 420D 6.6. The big deal with this guy is it has this like sort of what they're calling like air mesh stuff back here. On a sling, I'm not really certain how much of a big deal this makes, but it feels nice, and I think it's probably something you're going to see on these bags, and probably as soon as the Phoenix this month. Inside of the bag is cavernous. There's lots of stuff you can put in there. You can almost even fit the this. It like literally almost fits inside. I mean, you could actually, if I didn't have my camera in it, I could fit it in there. There's a pocket on the back here, which it has the strap in it right now. The strap is detachable from both sides. They did that so that the buckle wouldn't be like around your chest, which makes sense and is quite smart. There's a number 10 YKK zipper here on the front, and then a number 8 here. I find it disconcerting that there's a 10 and then suddenly an 8. I wish it was like both 8s or both 10s. Beggars can't be choosers, but that's how it rolls. Inside the main compartment of the bag, there is a this exact same lanyard that's in there. A couple of organizational pockets, one big one on the back here, a tag that says Made in Vietnam, and that's really it. I mean, it is what it is. It's a sling, something that, you know, if you're into the fanny pack vibes, it works as a fanny pack vibe. For my magazine bros, you could almost even fold up a magazine and throw it in there. There is a this side thing here. It's like you can stuff a jacket or something in there. I tried with a water bottle. My water bottle wouldn't really fit, and I don't really have a big water bottle, but it is interesting to note that you can do that, or you can, so you can leave it open like so, or you can cinch it down. My camera fits really well in here, but since this is not padded at all, it doesn't work as a camera cube. It's slightly too big. Like when I got it, what I was hoping would happen would be this would work as a pouch inside a bag, but as you can see, even though this is a huge bag, it takes up far too much space inside the bag to work as a pouch. It doesn't fit this way in almost any bag, and it has a hard time fitting this way. And because of these detachable things, I was really hoping like if they made it so that this would kind of like suck in and hide under here, then maybe it would work as a pouch, but in reality it doesn't particularly work as a pouch. Anyway, so I said I'm going to pack it out for a little bit of travel. Let's do that, and then we'll have a chat about it. So I'm not going to use this for travel. I would bring my camera. My camera would be with me. This is my favorite packing cube. This is from GORUCK. In fact, this is the same packing cube Evergoods uses in their own video about this. It's not the GORUCK version. It's like an early design. If you didn't know, apparently this was designed by Jack, the guy who, Jack from Evergoods fame. If I was using this camera, or if I was using this packing cube with this bag, what I would probably do is open it this way and leave it flat on the bag like so, because now I have my things separated here. And then I always carry this with me. This is my GORUCK Wiredopp. It is my absolute favorite accessory. And ironically, this is also designed by Jack, who is from Evergoods, and this fits absolutely almost exactly in this pocket here. And I think the reason for that is because he designed this, and in his videos he shows that too, and it fits perfectly in there. So I don't think that's a coincidence that this pocket is basically the exact size of that thing, and he carries it around all the time. Now, looking at my pack out, I think I actually made a mistake here. What I probably would really do in reality is stuff this guy like so, then put my camera cube on top. Now you can see there's tons of space here. I have clothes in here that would last for probably between 3 to 7 days, depending on how I was traveling or if it was light, warm or cold weather. I could easily stuff a jacket here. I could stuff something else on the side here. My hat would fit in there. I could almost even get like this in here. I could actually, in fact, if I wanted to have a bag on the go. For me, for now, I'd probably just use this. And then let's zipper this sucker up. Okay, so we're pretty good now. In this top, I didn't put anything here. Normally this is where I would put like my Corona stuff, so hand sanitizer, mask goes in there. And there we go. Oh, laptop. Plenty of room for the laptop. As with everything, it has its own volume back here, so it feels like this would be easy peasy. It is a little bit stiff down here on the bottom, so I think that the volume thing, it doesn't extend perfectly down to the bottom here. Okay, so now we're in. The bag will kind of stand up on its own. As you can see, it's a bit of a leaning tower of Evergoods, yeah, but it does actually stand up on its own. So you could like sit in the airport and, you know, work out of it. It's getting topply. So we had a bit of a technical difficulty there. I think the card was full. I was just saying that the bag doesn't tend to stand perfectly well on its own. It will kind of topple over if you let it. On the side here is how I tend to leave it. I'll leave it like this, and then I will work out of it like so. Not ideal, but it is what it is. That is basically my thoughts of the Evergoods CPL28. I will have more Evergoods stuff coming up in the future. I do really like this brand a lot. Their gear is very nice. The CAP pouch is one of my favorite things on the market. My MPL 30 is probably going to be my diaper bag, at least it's in the running to be my diaper bag. And there's not a whole lot more I can say about it. I think that if you're interested in a medium travel bag or a minimal travel bag, then this would be a great option for that. It's not particularly, this color is probably not for everybody, but then obviously it comes in black. Evergoods tends to have one color, then it goes away forever. It doesn't come back very often. So if you really like this color, I suggest get it now because it probably won't be back in this color anytime soon. What I will say is that Phoenix is coming out at the end of this month. It'd be something interesting to look forward to if you are an Evergoods person, or even if you are a bag nerd as myself. So that's about it. I can hear my baby crying. It's time for me to go. Catch you on the flip side, kids. Bye-bye.